Recording is on.
Look at that wiggle. Oh my goodness. Better, and I didn't know that you had it in you.
It just cost me 100 mana.
I mean, look at that. We've come a long way now. That's awesome. So this where are we right now? Is this
So this is the Genesis Plaza. It's like the entryway to Decentraland. So this is like a big portal. That this is also for the boomers amongst us, the Carlton dads. But yeah, this is like this is where you spawn in Decentraland. So it's got like you jump in there, it takes you down to a bar. Then you've got the best rated rooms. Like here's what's going on now, so you can like sign up to events, and then so they've got their community all hands is 17 hours. So you jump in and it teleports you to the place.
This is super cool.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot busier than when I first started going. It was generally a lot. Like, it was pretty quiet before. It's like, but now there's like always a bunch of people at the gateway. So
I mean, just thinking about where they were like years ago, like how far it's come along. Like it's kind of they're getting their Pelican Lakes.
It's genuinely playable now. Like it was a bit rough when it was on the browser, but now it runs pretty nicely. And there's a lot of stuff to do, and there's built out. And yeah, I'm enjoying it. Besides the fact, besides the fact we're partnered, I'm here because it's fun.
I think it's cool. Like I think this is like one of the cool things about doing this partner program is that like you've gotten totally like immersed in with them, and like you're doing stuff in the ecosystem. Like last week, you did the whole appearance stuff. It's awesome, and but I mean, look at it. It's just neat. Like they've just come a long way. It's really really cool.
Cool. Well, I will get off everyone's screen. The show must go on as much.
Hey, yeah, no. It's a good segue into the into the community call, and it's the welcome aboard everybody. To see the Pelicans shaking in all its glory. To the Bat Community Call. It is September 2nd, Tuesday, 2025. Hope you all are doing well. And I think it's been a busy week, lots to talk about. I think Pal, are you doing the there you go, you got it.
Cool. Hi everyone, yes I am.
Awesome. Yeah, well, I'll hand it off to you to kick off the updates.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Luke. Hi everyone, hope you're doing well and hope you're having a great week so far. Welcome to another weekly Bat Community update. Okay, so for the BatX/Twitter Spaces schedule, so for recent space on August 22nd at 1 p.m. EST, we did What If Ads Actually Helped You? Then the following week on August 29th, same time, we had Paywalls, Please Go Away. That was a good one. And so this week on Friday, 1 p.m. EST, September 5th, we will be doing the Brave Show Web3 UX, Fix It or Forget It. And that sounds very, very exciting. And the next week on September 12th, we are having the Brave Show Attention is the Ultimate Asset. Please join. Yeah, don't forget to join and share the link once we do. We'll be making a post for this week, probably tomorrow. Okay, and last week, Unfungible shared the Unfungible Wrapped from August, which shows the the stats from all of our spaces with them. The spaces with them over the month, and I'm very excited to share that. That in August we hosted 5 spaces from the Basic Attention Token account, but we were not able to attend additional spaces as guests. Sorry, unfortunately, but that could change for September. I don't know. And also, we got a total of 2,000 listeners and 139,000 impressions. So we got pretty good numbers this month. So shout out to the team, the Bat Community team, and Fungible, of course, for setting these up with amazing. Thank you for. With amazing guests. I'm looking forward to September's Fungible Wrapped. But thank you for joining our spaces. Made this one for you, Luke. If you want to talk a little bit about.
Oh yeah, sure. So this last week, when we were in what was it, 2 weeks ago or so? At the beginning of August, or I guess longer than that. That toward the end of that first week of August, we were out at Rear Evo at our booth. This time, we actually did live podcast recordings from the floor of the show. And, we released the first episode from, I think we recorded 9 in all over a day and a half, basically. But the first one we released this last week was with Crypto Wendy. She was a partner with us for over a year and a half, almost 2 years. Back a year ago at Rare Evos when we were first met with her in person and kind of talked about doing a collab together. So it was cool to have her on the podcast. So that was one of the first ones that we recorded out there, and it's the first one that we've released so far. We're doing more. I think this next one this week will be with the CMO from Algorand. We did a good interview with him, but we also did interviews with the head of digital assets at Citi Bank and people from Bitwise and from a bunch of other spots too. So more to come on that. But yeah, it's episode 85. Go check it out at brave.com/podcast. And tune in, subscribe, tell your friends, all that good stuff. Thanks.
Hello everyone, Guillermo here. Just to announce that we are back to doing the Bat Community weekly agenda. So every Monday, we will post the events that are ongoing from the community side of things for the week. And today we had poker with Mr. Battern, as usual. We have the Bat Community Call, which are on right now. Thursday, we have the weekly GM Team podcast, where you can learn all about crypto every week at the 1 p.m. GMT, 10 a.m. EST. Friday, we have a new event that is going to be, how do you say, when you have something new that will be opening that week. Anyways, we'll have a new event, Brawlhalla, by one of our new investors at 4 p.m. Premiering
this week.
I didn't know that word. Premiering this week, Brawlhalla event by one of our new investors from season 5 at 4 p.m. GMT, 12 p.m. EST. We'll have our weekly X Spaces with Unfungible, like Paula said priorly, at the usual time, 5 p.m. GMT, 1 p.m. EST, and the quiz hosted by the Dave at 6 p.m. GMT, 2 p.m. EST. There's a lot of dates. And Sunday, we also have the Jackbox, weekly hosted by Dragon Dave, and the time is still to be determined, but keep up to date and just keep following the Bat Community account. There will be news there or on Discord or on Telegram or on Reddit. All those channels. If you're not following any of them, I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you because there's a lot of places that we're covering. Next slide, please. Podcast appearances. I've been in podcasts. I want to be in more podcasts. I've been scheduling to be in more podcasts. That's basically it.
Soon.
Soon. This is a cool one. And look, feel free to join in because we were just talking about this. But we are currently hosting, how do I say, the test for Zcash transactions within our Brave wallet. It's something that we've integrated some time ago, but we want to improve the product. It's something that is not as smooth as other blockchains. It's something that requires a little bit more knowledge, but we're trying to facilitate and make it as smooth as possible for anyone to start transactionally securely and privately within the Brave wallet. And Zcash is one chain that allows it. So we're going to run some tests with some of our ambassadors, which I'll be messaging very, very shortly. And then we'll send some Zeek. We'll showcase the Zcash ecosystem so they can start transacting within their ecosystem. We'll gather some questions, have some interviews, and then organize this data and hopefully showcase it very, very soon what we've learned and the things that have been implemented to facilitate new users to start transactionally securely and privately. Luke, anything you want to add?
Yeah. So I think this is I think I talked about it briefly on the last community call, but it's part of a kind of a combined effort that we are doing with some of the Zcash community. Where about a month or so ago, well, we worked together on basically kind of putting some criteria together for testing out the Brave wallet with Zcash. And they had about 5 people test it out on their side with, we're going to do a similar study. So all the same kind of questions and criteria, et cetera. And then get 5 or so people from our side to also do it. And I think the ambassadors from our side are going to work on it. With Guillermo and team. And and the whole idea is, one, we want to get these communities working together. 2, it's just like a great, the community is awesome because you all want us to do well. Like, you care enough to want to be active and try things out, but also it has a direct impact on making the product better. And so one of the things that we're going to do with this is basically as we go, and as the testing happens, Guillermo and team are going to basically take down highlights, things that are we didn't necessarily expect to hear, or new discoveries or new issues that the team can work on. And then we'll bring them here so that we can kind of inform you all on some of the takeaways. And, it's a good way for us to kind of show how these things lead to the product getting better. But also the aim of this is to work with the Zcash community, but also take it more broadly. So when Drew and Sherelle and Guillermo were at Rare Evo, for example, the Cardano community had a rep come out and say, hey, look, we would love to do product testing with your community and make the integration as great as it could be. And again, if we have this formula that we've done with Zcash and we can apply it to other communities, it's just going to make everything better. It's going to bring the communities together. And I think one of the things that when we're talking with networks that we want to integrate and all of that, one of the things that we ask them a lot is look, Brave has this interesting ability in this ecosystem where you have all these tribal projects where everybody's like this. I'm on team Solana, or I'm on team ETH, or I'm on team whatever. Brave doesn't deal with that the same way. Our whole goal is to make things open and integrated. So we don't have that luxury of being tribal. What we want to do is basically have, so you've got 100 million, almost 100 million monthly active users in a place. What we do with these networks, we say, hey, look, what are the best 5 dApps that you guys have that you would want people that are in the space but not using your network to know about? What are the winners, right? Let's help you guys grow those winners with a new ecosystem, because they're already in Brave. We just need to meet them where they are. And unfortunately, one of the hard things is that unfortunately, it's a hard question for this space after 10 or so years for people to give you a straight answer on a lot of the time, which is unfortunate. But it's also, there's a lot of focus not on building usable things, but on other stuff, or you get these whole skill issue reply guys from these projects, and it's look, that's not going to scale. And people like to talk about the next billion users, but the next 20 million are already in Brave. We just need to get the apps in front of them that they can actually use. So anyway, long story short, on that mission, we want the UX to be as good as it can be. We want to get people testing us that are, familiar with this stuff, but then also we want to start looping in people that aren't and figure out where we can cover the gaps and all that good stuff. And there's a lot of low hanging stuff, but the only way we're going to do that is by talking with lead users. And so super excited for this and super excited to do this with other communities too. So thanks. Sorry.
No worries. And I'll just add, because you said it before, this is one of the main things that made Firefox great, was that usually community suggestions would be implemented. And it's something that we don't see as often these days. However, we do see it in Brave. And it's one of the main reasons why I onboarded Brave in 2019. And I'm still a massive chiller of Brave. And I think I will always be if it keeps going the same realm.
Oh,
Next slide, please.
Yeah, for sure. There's a void for it too.
No, Firefox sucks. So, Bad Ambassadors, for season 4, I've worked on the NFT. That is done. Is going to be distributed very shortly. Probably Mr. Battern is going to tell you when. and I'm working on a cool new design for a t-shirt. Next slide. Oh, and the GM Team podcast happening every Thursday at 1 p.m. GM Team, 10 a.m. EST. The image is alluding to a post that I did on X where people gave me a lot of noise about because apparently eating cheese on banana is not acceptable. That's it from my end. Guillermo way.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Loud and clear.
Hey, good. I wasn't sure. Hello, everyone. I've got your Bat Ambassadors update for the week. So I opened applications for the Bat Ambassadors on the 8th of the 8th, and I'm closing them on the 9th of the 9th. Starting season 5 on the 22nd of September. Like, I was going to do it on the 8th, but it was just too soon. Jenny's not here. I'd rather do a good job than rush it out. So I've got a new recruitment post with updated information. I'm continuing the interviews. I've been reviewing all the ambassadors now. We've got Notion back, and it purged all the inactive people and generally just organized everything a little bit better, ready to add new people without any mess. So I've let a couple of attaches in early. Tech Shooter, who's been playing poker with me for over a year, has started hosting the Brawlhalla events. So I just let him I let him in a little bit early so that people could see his role and that he can be trusted and stuff. And as well as Nazir, who's helped a lot with Guano and will continue to in the future. And I think he is here today. Hello, Nazir. Thank you. It was nice chatting to you the other day. And I've been basically like, I'm only going to let them into give them the role on the 22nd, but up until then, I'm going to encourage them to join the community, get involved, join the community calls, and those kind of activities. They keep a little bit of momentum and get a picture of the broader idea, especially if they're not coming from the community itself. Anyway, yeah. And I thrashed everyone at poker today, so that was very fun. Cheers.
Hello, everyone. My name is Godson, and I have your Brave in Africa update for the week. Cheese on banana is, in fact, disgusting. I will say that, and I about it. Anyway, yes, we are finally ready for the greatest ETH event happening in Africa. This is the ETH Safari event. It will start on the 7th, and it will run for a week until the 14th. This was like a long time, trying to get things, perfect, trying to, make everyone happy, grease the right wheels and, fund the right proposals. We will be sending 2 of our ambassadors, a third one if possible, but not very likely. These would be Stan, of course, Stan the man, and the other ambassador in Kenya or Exodus. Next slide, please. Go back one slide. Okay.
Is this the one? Sorry.
Yes. This
Okay,
is
perfect. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah.
The airdrop to you, man.
We'll get to that one. I was a little excited for it. Yeah. So this is the the schedule for the events. Like I said, it's like a bunch of like events. It's like a week-long thing rolled into one big conference. So basically, how it'll work. Our ambassadors will meet up with the organizers in Kenya, and then they'll take a bus, I believe, to a place called Kilifi. This is where the actual ETH Safari setup is, and where they'll be hanging out in some scenic areas. We'll hopefully we'll get the right amount of pictures so we can blast it. Maybe not next week, but the week after that, considering it ends the week after that. So it's like an interesting thing, and I believe Stan has like a couple words he wants to add to this real quick. So Stan, if you're there, go ahead.
Hi everyone. ETH Safari, the word ETH, as you know, Ethereum, and Safari means an epic journey. So it's like an epic journey which starts from the capital city of Kenya, Nairobi, and after days of hackathons, buildathons, where founders and investors come together. Then on Wednesday, the upcoming week, we travel by train from Nairobi to Mombasa. Then we catch up a bus from uh, Mombasa to Kilifi to a setting which is like a camping site, whereby it doesn't mean other projects which are not on Ethereum, but it cuts across Web3. We get all kinds of projects, protocols here in the setting. This is the third year I'm going there with Brave, and I'm happy. I'm also going with another Brave ambassador, and we expect to get high-end partnerships and of course spread the word about Brave, Bat, and this shit. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I keep forgetting like Safari actually means something in Swahili. So a great journey. That's actually pretty cool. We should spread that more often. Yeah, we have I believe 5 tickets. And some of those are like after we of course use 2 of them for our ambassadors, we have a couple more that we are going to give away. So that's up to Stan to decide who and who gets those tickets. So, but if any one of you wants to fly to Kenya and go attend, we'll have tickets for you. Next slide, please.
Is
Yeah.
Godson gonna fly me to Kenya so I can attend?
Yeah, no.
Bus
Godson,
ride is yeah, straight to the lion's den.
yeah, Godson isn't even flying Godson for this one. It's like a 18-hour flight or something. And I have a kid now, so it's over. But yeah, finally from me, I just want to remind everyone that the Traders airdrop is currently ongoing. So it started yesterday. It'll run until next Monday. And it's a very simple thing. Just go to the DEX and trade the BAT USDC pair. Last week I know I said like, oh, it's $100 volume minimum or something. I'm gonna drop that down to 0. So literally just anybody who you could trade $1 there, and if you're the only one, you'll win the entire lot. So just try to do my best here, trying to draw in the community to go use these this tool for anybody who wants to buy or sell their BAT, and you don't want to go through like all the issues with like centralized exchanges and stuff. But yeah, that's me. Thank you, everyone. Back to you, Paolo.
We have another slide for G.
No, I just want to say that slide is there every week because every week I forget to remove it from the template.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Next slide for Drew.
All right, yes. Threw me off there, G. So anyways, yeah, so been working in the background on our next update to the rewards partner program, as well as adding some new partners to that. Hopefully as everybody on the team gets back from vacations and things like that, that'll kind of start to well, that'll come out, and then we'll have some more ongoing coming up in the future here. So, and also working in the back end on kind of streamlining the process for the rewards partner program partners and things like that. So that's been in the works for a while, and And so finally kind of coming about. So we'll start seeing some more movement on that hopefully here in the near future. And I think Jenny gets back next week, so or so, if I recall. I'm not sure. Anyways, so just Dragon Dave and the Stan have been working hard on the guano stuff, and they did a vote for and as Dragon Dave said, there was a total of what 1,542 DAO votes for the guano folks. And so this is that top the screenshot there is the results for the top three. So with 47% of the votes, 719 BAT. So yeah, 47% with 616 votes, 719 BAT will get permanently locked into the BAT Solana pool. And then the second most highest vote was with 34.94% or 449 votes. 524 BAT will get used for community events and things like that. And then the third highest vote was for an annual event, a first annual event with 17% and 220 votes. So 256.8 BAT will go towards that. And that's kind of the first big vote that the Guano DAO guys have done. So yeah, cool to see. Thanks for the Dave and Stan really kind of heading that up and putting it to a vote, listening to the people. And once we get that all sent out and sorted, we'll let you know and post about it, I'm sure. And then as you can see, the numbers are about the same as last week, so pretty level at the near or at the all-time high of BAT locked up or staked with awesome, but the number of stakers is up almost to 450. We're 2 away. So yeah, keep sharing with people and we'll get more and more of that BAT locked up and doing more things on that side of things. So yeah, thanks Saul.
Super cool to see, by the way, just the whole voting stuff, and also too, like Dragon David, Stan, and Drew have been super active with the guano stuff, like ever since it kind of just emerged. So it's just neat to see that keep evolving, and those numbers. I mean, like, it's pretty rad, dude. It's like a totally community driven thing, and to see this much BAT staked and stakers and voting and all this cool stuff kind of happening. It's a really awesome kind of organic, wholesome thing to grow out of the community. Love it. Way to go, guys. It's really cool.
Yeah, thanks. And I don't know if Dragon Dave or Stan want to share any more on that. I think Dragon Dave's more of a typer than a speaker, but happy to have him if he wants to share any more about it. Yeah, it is cool to see the community kind of get behind it. And the numbers may not be huge, gigantic numbers, but it's a solid start. And hey, you never know where it goes from here. So
honest
cool
work
to see. Thanks,
Thank
Paula.
you, everyone. No, thank you. Okay, now for additional updates. So last week we announced that the BAT community called written summaries are back in Notion, thank God. And you can find everything we covered during these weekly decks with links and posts and pictures attached. But yeah, and of course the YouTube recordings that we post weekly on the BAT community YouTube channel. And I just made a post from the BAT official account, so you can access the Notion page easily. And so the translations in Hindi are available up to number 57 at the moment, but summaries number 58 to 64, that's August 5th, those have been published in both English and Spanish. And I'm currently working on more, the latest ones. So those will be available very soon. Additionally, the English version of the new and updated BAT/Brave pitch deck is now available for ambassadors. So they have the possibility to translate it into different languages and use them for presentations and meetups, or even as an additional resource. So once the translations are complete, we are going to share and make them accessible for ambassadors on those regions. But yeah, I think it's very nice to have localized information for everyone, especially for ambassadors that want to give presentations and meetups and things like that. And now, regarding Crypto Latin Fest, I'm working on some video content, including like one general recap video of the event made with different clips. And we've created similar videos at other conferences in LATAM and other regions as well. But yeah, they're very nice and very easy to make. And I'm also preparing a two-part interview video. And these interviews actually, I mean, they were done as a part of a dynamic to win merch at the booth. And, participants, of course, they didn't hesitate to join in and participate. So yeah. And lastly, the last video, the XNext representative in LATAM came to the booth and he shared that his first introduction into crypto and Web3 was through Brave Rewards and BAD, which is, it's awesome. And I immediately sorry, asked him to share his story on camera. So that will be an additional video as well. But yeah, I'm very excited to share those with you, and I'll keep you posted. And these are just some of, a couple of posts I made from BAD LATAM about the event. Actually, these photos, I shared these photos last week, but I wanted to post them as well. And I made a post from my personal account too. And yeah, and I gave a special shout out to G for the awesome booth artwork. So thank you, G, again for all your work and making this possible.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And finally, so these are some awesome posts that I wanted to highlight this week, including, general information about BAD and Brave, which is great. So, thanks for spreading awareness about Brave. Love to see this type of content. It feels very natural and organic. So thank you. Thank you so much. And that's all from us this week. Thank you.
Awesome. No, it's great updates. Super cool to see people going after it. Also, check out in the chat because I just posted the interview that Drew got in Rare Evo in Vegas, which they took from where we were recording all the podcast interviews. So a very rare public interview appearance by Drew, but it was awesome.
It's okay if you don't check it out too, but go ahead.
Check it out, just to make him blush, and like get it out there. Like, you know what? One more. Not only check it out, but comment, like give it a reply too, because that's the full effect. Like we're not firing.
Really trying to put it out there.
Pushing. Like just getting it out there, the full spectrum. Yeah. So it's a couple of things too. I want to highlight. I'm going to get to Bao's raised an awesome point. I'm going to get to that last out of these things. Just a few things I want to kind of that'd be kind of fun to share with you guys here. So I'm going to put them in chat. There's some good ones from the Brave account right now. Like, everyone calls Google searching, Googling, your chance to put in 2 cents around what you would call Brave search. I don't even know what I would call it, just searching, I guess. But there's one bit there. Second, two, there's a good CoinDesk video that has Brendan in it. And I'll send you guys the link in the chat to the tweet post from CoinDesk about it. It's part of a series we're doing with Midnight around privacy. And I'll also put the direct video in there too, so that you guys can check it out. Brendan doesn't do a ton of these things that often these days. So definitely worth checking out because Brendan's awesome. And it's great to see him talking about this stuff. Also, one more thing here. So I will just jump into, there's some cool stuff with, like Bao's was asking earlier, thoughts on the Google ruling for the search case that just wrapped up, and there was a ruling on it. Like, first off, I think the thing to keep in mind here is that like it's most likely, almost certainly going to get appealed by Google because that's what they do. But it is an important one of these. There's a couple different antitrust cases going on. There's this one here, which has gotten a lot of attention around search and the relationship between search and browser, et cetera. There's a whole other antitrust case as well around their advertising business, which is really interesting and probably going to have more severe like changes or rulings around it, just because of how their ad business works, which I could spend a whole hour talking about that, but I'm not going to. That's not the one that broke today. So basically, like to kind of tap on what Bowles was asking about it, just to kind of put it into context, the ruling today came out where the main things in play were like proposed remedies included things like should Google divest and spin out Chrome and Android, like is having the distribution on the biggest browser and operating system on mobile, is that too monopolistic or antitrust violating, whatever. There were some other questions too around like the search deals that Google has with browsers like Safari and Firefox, for example, where they if you like look at Firefox's or Mozilla's revenue, vast majority of it is coming from a search deal where Google pays them to integrate Google Search Native or as a default search engine in the browser. So those types of things were called into question. And the big one that people were really wondering about is like, is Google going to be required to like break out Chrome and spin that off into a separate thing? And same with Android. And it looks like from the ruling today that the judge Mehta says that Google's not going to have to spin out or divest Chrome from their, from the Google sphere. And also same goes for Android. But instead of the behavioral remedies that the court imposes is that Google must share certain search-related data with competitors to help foster better competition. I have to look a little bit more into this one in particular because the way it's phrased is kind of vague. It's like a 200-plus page thing, so it's gotta read in a little bit more into the detail on that one. But that one is interesting to see happen. Also, the other thing that was pretty that came out of this was that the court basically says that these exclusive default search deals are prohibited, so Google won't be able to lock in partners like device manufacturers and browser makers to make Google the default search engine, which is huge because I can attest to this directly. Like folks saw last year, we did a distribution deal where Brave Search and Brave Browser were the default on the unplugged devices, because they were game to do it. But a lot of these other handset manufacturers that have huge distribution have these deals with Google where you can't break them. So Brave couldn't be a default browser on, these devices, or they have weird conditions in there. So this thing is going there. So I think, Reflex is like cool. Like I think that spinning Chrome out into a whole other thing has a lot of second order impact that like people weren't necessarily aware of. I think, one of the nice things about Chrome being under the Google umbrella is that they maintain it well. It's a team of folks that they put out there on it. If they had to spin that out, or if Chrome got bought out, you don't really know like how dedicated or how things would go on that front. So there's like unintended consequences maybe that could arise from something like that. But I think go around the search deal stuff, like the search sharing piece, that's something I need to do a little bit more digging on, which we will. But yeah, that's kind of the takeaway is, I think it is crazy too that the state that Google is in the tentacles it's got out there, like by the time this hits, it's so far in that like you might have unintended consequences and some of these things. But the ironic thing is that Google probably benefits from all this stuff, in one way or another anyway. But yeah, so I see we got a couple of hands up. I don't know, 4, you had a hand up. I'm not sure if it's time to dig in on that or what, but or if that was an accidental hand up. But I'll ask it out there for you if you want to ask a question or something. Otherwise, we got a crippled resistance. You've got a hand up too.
Hey there, how are you?
Good. How are you?
My question is with the wallet. I see that some app stores are trying to block wallets. Could this potentially lead to them blocking Brave, the browser, because of the wallet integration?
Yeah, I think I know. There was it was a story out a couple of weeks ago around like a Google policy around this. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, so I think it turned out to be like an overeager policy person that put something out there that was like intentionally or unintentionally super confusing. I think they walked that back because the way that it was phrased, it could have been a lot of things, and it would have been really rough. It would have been it would have called things into question because they were basically saying was that if you're not licensed by one of these, if you're not licensed in certain jurisdictions, like you would be as an exchange, even self custody wallets are applicable or whatever, and that would have been just really debilitating. But that's not impacting us at all. Like I think that they walked that one back. But yeah, that was one where I was like looking at it and I'm like, oh my God, like this could be messy if it's not a rumor or whatever. And I think that they ended up walking it back.
Well, would because of stuff like this, would Brave ever consider opening up their own app store?
I mean, I think there's a lot that goes into that. A lot of maintenance, a lot of like administrative, moderation types of things that we have to like factor into that. I don't think that there are immediate plans for anything like that. But I think extending support for other stores is important. But yeah, like we would distribute the wallet either way, like, and as long as you can make it, this is actually a really good point that you bring up too, because there has been a decision that Google made this past week around, I think next year they're going to stop allowing the side loading of apps on Android, which is actually like a pretty gnarly thing to see happen. It's one of those things too, where like we're just talking about an antitrust case, and right out of that, you're seeing them do more stuff that looks pretty closed, closed gated off things that they're doing. So yeah, like I don't think you'll see a storefront from us in the near. I think there's a lot of stuff we're doing right now that needs a lot of focus. And a storefront's just a huge thing. And who knows for the future though? I mean, I think this is stuff that could grow with us with scale, but for the time being, not one of our priorities.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's a good question. I'll open it up to more folks too. If anybody has a topic they want to discuss or questions or anything like that, the floor is open to the community. Just pop up a hand and jump on in. That's what the Brev was. Okay, that's what the Brev thing was. I'm catching up on chat. Good stuff with the Google search comparison in Brevit. All right. Any questions from anybody? Anything anybody wants to talk about?
Yeah, not really a question, but I just wanted to like add some thoughts to the the last point.
Yeah.
Google delisting crypto related like wallets and stuff like that. I mean, this has been like a policy, especially with I think like Apple like doesn't allow like non-custodial things like it. Well, they do like obviously you have like Coinbase and stuff on there, but it's like there's like a much higher barrier to entry if you're going to be like custodying people's accounts, because now it's like there's like a banking and financial like regulation aspect to it. But as long as you're not like holding people's money basically, which we don't, right?
Right.
With the Brave wallet, it's not really necessarily an issue specifically. Like,
Right. Well, and it's also how these things get interpreted, which unfortunately, a lot of the people that are pushing for these rules, like, don't ever touch the stuff, right? Like, that was one of the biggest eye-opening things when I was talking to Hester Peirce, the SEC commissioner, is that, like, when I was asking her, like, hey, how do you all, like, you have a task force or there's a group of people at the regulatory agency that are focused on crypto, like, how much do you guys actually use it? And they're like, she said, well, we're not even allowed to use it. We can't use it because of the regulatory rules. And it's like, good Lord, you know, like, you've got people that are making decisions and enforcement actions on this stuff that have never even made the transaction, you know, on the chain. And so it's a weird dilemma. Like, and there's another thing like this too. So I mean, like, so to us, this makes sense. Like, okay, like, we're not custodying anything, and it fits right in with the whole mantra of Brave around, you know, Brave wants to have deniability. We want to put control in your hands. So things like self-custody, like things like, you know, not collecting your information, not having anything for anybody to take, right? It's super important. You know, but these regulators don't see it that way necessarily because they just don't know in a lot of cases. Or they, you know, if you look at privacy, right? Like, I was just looking at something, Johnny Ryan, who used to be our chief policy and data officer at Brave, was sharing where, you know, these regulators agreed that Google was breaking the law, or not just Google, but like the whole real-time bidding thing was breaking the law like years ago, twice. They reaffirmed it twice, and they are just not even enforcing the law. And it's just like, you have these cases where, like, you've got people so eager to make new laws about stuff that's brand new, and they won't even enforce the stuff that's actually like problematic. Like, in some cases, then they, like with Gensler, you had like this really brazen overreach on enforcement actions that like caused years of damage, right? Like, and so it's a mess. Like, they should really, like, if you're going to regulate it, like, one, like, let the market fit happen first, you know, so that you actually have something regulatable, so you don't just basically choke off small business entrepreneurs, et cetera, which is what happened in the US. And then also, like, two, just go after the right people. Like, there's so much crap that happens in this space that we deal with on a daily basis, like people going after people for fraud and all sorts of crap that gets no enforcement. And that yet they go after all these like project leaders and stuff. In some cases, like people making legit stuff like LBRY and others that are like actually like doing interesting things with it. It's a mess. Like, I think we're going in a good direction overall, but there's like a million landmines to look out for. Like, and just because stuff's starting to turn doesn't mean that it's going to be like an easy journey either. Like, I think I'm still getting, we're optimistic, but there's still things where decisions that get made in courts or, you know, by some rogue folks or whatever, it goes kind of counter to some of the mantra we're seeing now around, like, you know, the positive outlook and all that. So got to stay vigilant and you know, build for what you're intending to build for. And, you know, if people challenge that, then whatever, there's processes in place to go after that. But also, like, when people challenge important things like privacy, you got to stand up and support the folks that are building privacy tools and building this stuff that's going to help us.
Yeah, like, you know, with respect to like the direction we're moving, the Overton window has shifted like so much with, you know, all the stuff like, you know, with like the Trump coin and, you know, World Liberty Financial that's like run by like the Trump, you know, family, making a lot of like waves in the last like week or so. I even saw like earlier today, and I only saw like the headline. I didn't actually like, you know, dive deep into it, but apparently, you know, Gavin Newsom, right, who's been, you know, obviously being, you know, set up as like the next Democratic presidential candidate.
Yeah.
Who, like, in my opinion, is probably going to win too. Just like the way these things swing. If I was a betting man, I'd bet on that. But you know, he said he was going to launch meme coin to like rival like the Trump meme coin or something. Which, you know, at this point, like when presidential candidates you know, literally launching meme coins, like, it'd be kind of like
It's bipartisan now.
yeah.
That's what's wild. Well, and there's something to it. Like I think, well, one, like Gavin Newsom's been running for president ever since he won his first mayoral race in San Francisco, right? Like that guy who's like a follow-on politician's politician, right? Like, but it does say something like zooming out, right? Like look at, so you have these things, these meme coiny things, right? That these guys are doing, and the Trumps are doing them in one way or another. And now you have folks like Newsom talking about it. But then on the other side of the spectrum, you've got, you look at what just passed, like the Genius Act passed with a veto-proof bipartisan majority in both the House and the Senate. Like you don't normally see stuff like that unless we're trying to bomb a country. It's nuts. Like that's the only time you see things that unified, in general. You're seeing it with crypto. Then this Clarity Act, it also passed the House with bipartisan veto-proof majority. Like these are big things that are happening across the three checks and balances, right? Like where you've got real movement happening. You're not going to put that toothpaste back in the tube. It's not happening, right? And then you see other things happening at the state level. Like I think Avalanche is working with the DMV on database records and stuff like that. Like things are happening at the state level. It's interesting. I mean, like the I think what's happening now, and you look at that and you look at what the financial players are doing, it's highlighting a big part of the crypto side that doesn't get as much attention, but this is like a tech upgrade for finance, for transparency, for database records, viewership, and all that good stuff. So I think you bring up a good point in that you're starting to see waves from this happening at a bigger level, and I think that retail stuff's just going to catch up with it.
Remember, safety equals control. If they say it's for your safety, it's really for their control.
Yeah, I mean, in some respect, that's true, and I also think it's never been a more important time for us to like bring the privacy part into the forefront too. I mean, that's the thing I'm worried about a lot with this, is that there's two things. Like one, you're going to end up with just a similar picture to what we already have, but like with better surveillance if we do this wrong, like where you'll have, okay, the Western crypto world plays in this realm, and then you've got everybody else. Where if you look at how like financial sanctions, things like that work, you end up with like here's the Western club over here, and here's everybody else. And on the other side of it, the privacy issues are really can get really bad if we don't support privacy technology and projects that are building for privacy. Like that's why we're so bullish on like Zcash and what they're doing with Shielded, and what other projects are doing. We're doing so with Midnight, similar type of form fashion of just getting more privacy solutions out there that are in the market. Because right now, I mean, like even now, like look what's happening with Tornado Cash case, still in the middle of things there. The implications are real from that stuff. If we are in a cashless society and you don't have private transactions and privacy is kind of like gone the wayside, you have a worst case scenario where everything you do online is already tracked by folks like Google, et cetera. Now you've got everything you're spending money on is tracked too. It's not a good look. So I think, now you got to be more vigilant than ever around getting better privacy solutions out there, supporting privacy options and all that good stuff. Yep. So good points, Bile. All right. Anybody else have any points you want to cover?
Another random question, just to poke something. Obviously before Brave Search, were we ever approached by Google with like a similar deal, like a lock-in deal? Did that ever happen?
I can't really talk about what may or may. If it would have happened, it would have happened. I think the thing, if you look at. Brendan was at Mozilla when that original deal happened, right? If we could have done it, it would have happened. I think I can't really go into detail around it. We did do search deals with others though. Like the first one we did was with DuckDuckGo. We did one with Quant as well, a French search engine, and several others. I mean, and it's a good way like to generate revenue for the company. But like it's also kind of like if I'm Mozilla right now, I'm kind of concerned, right? Like what, dude, that's like, I think last time I checked, it was, I don't know, like, what is it, Keith? It's what, like 80 something plus percent of their revenue, 90%, something like that. It was ridiculous. Like, it's coming from that one deal.
A lot.
Yeah.
86, you said.
Huge amount. And not only that, I mean, it also is like defaulting people into having their search behavior tracked right by Google, which is not great either. And so, you know, I think this is going to shake things up a lot. But that's the era we're in right now. We're in the shake-up zone, dude. Like all sorts of people, browsers are coming back. You've got like Perplexities, Comet, and all of these folks out there with privacy policies that look, they compete with Google on being bad. You know, like it is really eye-opening how terrible some of these things are. And more folks are talking about that now, which is great. But again, like the follow-on question to that is who's doing what as an alternative, and like we're there doing something as an alternative, and we should be looking at other projects too that are doing it, you know, on par in areas that we aren't, you know. So yeah, like it's cool. Drew, you got a hand up?
Yeah, actually, kind of along those lines. It's speaking of Perplexity, and supposedly they were making offers for Chrome and things like that, right? I guess question is like, what kind of contingency plans does Brave have? You know, obviously Brendan's not going to be there forever, or, you know, those kind of things. But like, what kind of is the plan as it grows and gets bigger, and maybe gets more interest from other, you know, companies and things like that to, you know, kind of make sure we're, you know, continue with the privacy and stuff like that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think, you know, with regards to like plans on future deal, like who knows, right? Like with that stuff, it's like it's an uncertain world. Like things change every 2 to 3 years in a major way. We keep getting larger. The things to keep in mind are like the hardest thing to get are users, right? Like that's the hardest. Like I've done growth here, I've done growth in advertising, other places. The hardest thing to get are users. And
yeah, I know that
with Brave, like what my point is that
Man,
the minute that we start compromising on you guys know, it's hard to move from one browser to another. It's like buying a car. Like you got to move all your stuff. It's a high overhead thing. The minute we go back on that, I would expect all of our users to leave. Like I wouldn't use Brave anymore. I think, you know, and I think that anybody in any future scenario that would want to get in on this would have to bought in on what we're doing. Otherwise, you're going to lose those users. And that's like the most valuable part of any type of a deal like that, is that you're bringing a movement into the fold, right? Like, and that movement's going to go elsewhere because that's what they did to come here, right? Like, and that's one of the things where like we're almost at 100 million users, and our privacy stuff is this strict or more so than it ever was before when we were at 1,000 users, right? So like it's first principles are first principles. Like, and if you build it to first principles, then, you know, regardless of, you know, who's in charge of the helm, if they did the right job, then what should be there should outlast them being there too. Like, and so, yeah, that's the thing that I would say to that.
Basically, if anybody were to buy Brave, it would be in their interest to continue those that, you know, I guess first principles, like you said. Otherwise, they'll lose a bunch of users, and their investment.
Throw your money in the toilet.
Profitable.
Like,
yeah, exactly.
And the strength of the user base is also what powers things like indexing with Brave Search, and like a lot of the other stuff that are second order things that we have, you know, like we have a whole API business with search, right? Like the strength of that is built off of real people that are participating, you know, in the indexing process. Like you lose those users, you lose the quality on that index, right? So it's a pretty, we're user first, right? Like, so if you start to mess with that, we don't deserve to have you as a user, like straight up. Like, and I will be the first one out there, like talking shit about it. like because what's the point otherwise? Like the amount of things we've sacrificed to do this, like the amount of things we've turned away, it would blow minds, like the types of things we said no to over the years, because it would compromise those first principles. And you know, it's one of the proudest things that I look back on working here is just like that we did do that. Like that is the right decision sometimes. Like, and that's the only way you're going to make stuff better is by making those hard decisions that aren't even that hard. It's just like uncommon, you know? And so, yeah, like that's it, man. Like if we go back on our promises, like we don't deserve to have you as a user, and fuck that, frankly, you know? So
appreciate that.
And with that, we're over 3 o'clock. So, hey, thank you all, everybody, for joining. A great call today. We'll be back 1 week from today. Same bat time, same bat channel. Until then, see you all online and have a good one.
See you guys. Thanks.
Bye, everyone. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Good night. Thanks for coming. Bye.
Bye-bye.